real quick before we get into the video here, there isn't going to be a skit or anything because I just couldn't think of one for this one. But for our Gemmer giveaway for the NECA United States Colonial Marines Arsenal set, we have a winner, and it is Kid Collector. So they should be contacting you soon, if not already. So again, thanks for everybody that participated in the giveaway. Hopefully we'll be able to do another one here in the future. But outside of that, on to the review. Hey Rangers, welcome to Super Important Views. My name is Steve, and today I'll be going over the SH Figuarts Ultraman Orb Spacium Zeperion figure, which I've actually filmed this intro twice now. Accidentally deleted it once, second one kind of got screwed up. So we're going to be really quick about this. Mainly, I'm just hoping that this figure is better than the origin version because that one had a lot of problems of stuff liking to pop out of that figure. So I'm hoping that that problem is kind of fixed on this guy. But the main reason I'm picking up this one is just because I really love the look of the Zeperion figure, like, or even just the suit in the show. So I definitely wanted to pick up that one. And I just like the show, period. Like, it's easily, I want to say, my second favorite, if not my favorite Ultraman series. Like, I enjoyed the crap out of Orb. So, like, they did a fantastic job on that. I even got to meet the director of G-Fest. I got the Orb Changer sign, which was really cool. Hopefully they get some more people from that one to show up there. That'd be actually really awesome. So I'm going to be picking up stuff from the line anyways, but hopefully this guy impresses me a little bit more than the Orb Origin version did. But anyways, without further ado, for his packaging, since he's already technically out of his cardboard prison anyways, but it's mostly like the Orb Origin version, except done in a purple color scheme with the white slashes and flares all over the place. You get a nice image of Orb on the front, but not actually the figure in the packaging. Top, just more purple and Figuarts. Side, more of the same. Opposite side, you get a washed out Ultraman, and behind the Ultraman Orb Spacium's Zeperion title, I guess. On the back of the packaging, just get him in some dynamic poses, shows his optional parts. Still don't know what the heck that one actually is, and some stuff I can't understand, and some legal mumbo jumbo. So let's get into the review, or I guess I could get him back in the prison and pull him back out. Nah, whatever. Alright, so now that we got Ultraman Orb Spacium Zeperion open up out of his cardboard prison, first thing I want to point out is his time indicator didn't fall off, so we're already winning. Already winning. But speaking of for his time indicator, after just realizing I really should probably shift the camera so you guys can see it, it's a very nice translucent blue, just like we've seen on the original. You got a little bit of blue paint going on the line here and some metallic silver. And this is removable, which I've noticed is really stiff on this guy. So you gotta be very careful when pulling that out, not to apply too much pressure to the plastic here. Get out of here, random fuzz. So that you don't end up breaking that plastic there. So you just kind of wiggle it out. Bam. How'd you get so here? Dog, I blame you. Blame you, Shinji. It's all your fault. All your fault. But again, you just pull this thing out. Pretty easy to do. Just take your time, wiggle it a bit. And then he has his red time indicator, which kind of looks more pink to me, but whatever. And you just sit that over top, push it in, and again, stays in there really nicely. So that is actually really cool. Just look at the blue line on the front section, which is pretty accurate for what you've seen in the TV show, but looks really nice. I usually keep the red one on the Orb version, the origin version. So this one, I'm probably going to keep the blue on for the most part. But for the remainder of the review, I'll probably just keep this red one on, just because it's super easy. But for some of his other accessories, he comes with a pair of clenched fists for punching kaijus, and just what he came straight out of the box with. Then he comes with a pair of open, outstretched, relaxed hands for your more traditional Ultraman grappling poses. Then he comes with a pair of relaxed hands with the fingers together, which for the most part is going to be doing the same thing as the other hands. You can be using those for like grappling poses, or if you want him to look more like he's about to throw things, or you can also use them for Ultraman poses. Now, what's kind of weird is he comes with a pair of karate chop hands, but one set has the thumbs going a little bit inwards. And then these ones, which I would say is definitely more alive for setting up for his Zeperion Ray. So I'm not quite sure why he has two separate ones, because the ones, like, I'll grab them real quick again. You can see the only difference really is that the thumb goes a little bit more inwards. So it's odd. I don't really feel like they really needed to give us both of them. It's strange. I'm not gonna really complain about extra accessories though, but what could they give us extra? Because we got, like, maybe, like, oh, then again, I would just complain if we got, like, gripping hands for him. Nothing. Well, and maybe gripping hands would have been cool. So you can maybe use some of the other parts with this one if you really wanted to. So, I think I would have liked that a little bit more on these ones. Oh, I guess it bends a little bit more, too. So it's got that. It's not quite straight up. So, yeah, I guess, like, these hands are fine. But still, it's just kind of like, I don't know what you really would use these for. Kind of just like look like you're patting somebody on the back. Like patty cake with the other kaijus. That'd be cool. Bet you nobody's got their displays like that. Now, since I had the one hand out already, we have the Spacium Ray. And it's pretty basic looking. It's just translucent blue plastic. You got some detailing to make the wave design for the beam. Overall, looks pretty good. I maybe would have liked to have seen a little bit more use of white though. Maybe have like a white frost, especially going from the middle outwards with the translucent blue. I think that would have made this pop a little bit better. But for the most part, still a pretty effective little accessory. And you can see it's just kind of glued to the top section of his hand. Which, how you actually swap out the hands real quick, because I'll go grab his other accessory too while we're doing this, is just like every other SH Figuarts figure, you're just going to want to grab at the base of the wrist, and you're just going to pull upwards. And it'll pop right out. Maybe. Ugh, a little bit tight. Because you don't want to try to go at it at a cockeyed angle or do a lot of rotating. Ideally, because that could apply more pressure to the peg. And you don't want it to snap, especially how small these things are. For this accessory, which, God, I can't remember for the life of me what this is actually called. It's his laser throwing disc. The Spacium disc. That's what I'm going to call it. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys know what the name of this is, because I'd really like to know. I tried looking it up, but failed miserably. But I do remember him using it in the show, because he used this against the Stinky Monster. God, I'm so specific with these names for these videos. But yeah, anyways, still cool that he came with it. And then you just want to go straight down with the peg going into his hand when attaching it. So you, again, don't worry about stressing the plastic. And you just push down. Boom! It's in. Now he could throw things at people. Not literally because it's glued to his hand, but you can kind of get him look like he's doing it anyway. So that's cool. It's got like a little buzzsaw. Smash things. Maybe put it around the monster's heads. Possibilities are endless. But it's just translucent purple plastic with a little bit of a frost over top, which kind of odd to see a frost over the top of this one when we didn't get it with the Spacium, right? So that's weird. Though, again, like, frost for me would have been on the other one, like, actually, like, pretty defined white lines, and then a little bit of a frost would have been cool. But still, really nice looking effect. You can kind of see, though, where it's attached to his hand right there. But that's going to happen. It's translucent plastic. But for the most part, still a really sweet effect. And then for the rest of the figure here, starting with the helmet, is done in a metallic silver with a little bit of black, reds, and some metallic gold here for the intersectionings in between his crest. Now on the front, you got, is that translucent? Didn't think so, just metallic purple paint. But for his eyes are done in a nice crystal translucent plastic. Looks really good. You got some mouth detail on the front section. Then you got the black on the back. Then you got the black running down the neck into the armor on the front. And on the back you get that traditional suit line coming down the back with his shoulder pads, which are done in a metallic silver and gold paint job, which kind of reminds me like a little bit of the Green Ranger shield. These are actually articulated though, so that's actually pretty cool. Threw me off a little bit when I first got out of the package because it just seemed kind of weird that this could actually move. But I do like the idea because it actually helps with the arm articulation. So it's really nice to see that. And then for the rest of the outfit, you got some purples, reds, blacks, and silvers, just like you've seen in the TV show. Looks really nice. And I like too for parts of the figure here where they have the actual creasing of the suits, which is really cool to see. That's the one thing I like about the Figuarts more than the Ultra X is they're definitely a lot more suit accurate looking. While I do like the Ultra X larger size and the more artistic style, these just are more closer to like articulated X pluses for me, which I actually really enjoy about these guys, even with their slightly smaller stature than some of the Ultra X. But you can also see on his stomach, you got a little bit of the muscle definition, same with on the front of the chest. I like too that the front section here is a little bit more complex looking than what you see with some of the other Ultramans. Not as over the top as Ultraman X, mind you, because that one was a little silly, but still really cool. For his arms, got more of that metallic silver, red, and purples. And what looks kind of like a little pad on the top section of his shoulder, right where his little shield is on the top section here. And then just kind of moving down the legs so you guys can see the rest of the detailing with his Ultraman boots. But from what I could tell, the paint job is done very nicely. Not really noticing any splotches of paint anywhere. Sometimes with the Ultra X figures you get sometimes a little bit of like excess silver on certain parts. But for the most part it looks really nice. The only real metallic on them is the silver here. The rest of the reds and purples and blacks are all done in a matte finish. And yeah, detail-wise, done very nicely. I actually like the look of this one way more than the Origin version, mainly just because there's a lot more color scheme going on. Because the Origin version is definitely more like traditional Ultraman looking. But with this Ultraman, he's definitely got a lot more going on in terms of just aesthetics. But for his articulation, his head can look up about that far, down about that far, a little bit to the left and right. Can also rotate side to side. For his shoulders, can go up about that far, down about that far. Can rotate all the way around and has a little bit of a swivel inside of his shoulder. Again, the shoulder pads are also articulated to help with the arm articulation as well. They hook in right on the back here. Also has a rotation at the top portion of the shoulder here. Has a really nice double joint at the elbow. Hands can rotate all the way around and pivot in one direction. For the top section of the chest, can only go a little bit forward because of the plastic here for the time indicator, but can go backwards pretty far. And then for his top part of his waist, can move a little bit side to side, a little bit of rotation, and back and forth movement. For his legs, can go out about that far, inwards about that far. Pretty nice forward kick. Not really a back kick though, which a little bit of a bummer. You can kind of work it a little bit if you stretch out the leg a little bit, but for the most part, it's fairly non-existent. Has a double joint. Whoopsie, that's a first. Get back in there. There we go. Has a double joint at the knee. Just straighten up about that far. Rotate about that far. Can move forward and back in one direction. Also a rotation at the top section of the thigh and some articulation at the toes. And for some quick comparisons, here is some SH Figuarts figures with the Ultraman Orb Origin version and the Kaiju Alien Matrone. And here's some Ultra X figures with Ultraman Ginga and Gene Killer. And here's some more Ultraman Kaijus with the SH Figuarts Gamora and the Ultra X Red King. And here's some NECA action figures with the NECA Pacific Rim Ultimate Striker Eureka and Leatherback. And because they're still down in my office, here he is with the Lantern Rampage figures of George and Lizzie. So overall with the SH Figuarts Ultraman Orb Spacium Zeperion figure, I love this figure. I think it's a pretty nice improvement over the first version of the character we gotten out of the line, especially with the time indicator definitely being a lot easier to keep in there than with the Origin version. The articulation on it is really good. Maybe would like to be able to get a little bit more of a back kick out of the guy and maybe incorporate some leg joints like they used to have with the Ultra X, where you can actually shift the joint down in order to kick. That would be really sweet to see. Especially since you see them show up on some stateside figures with their Dragon Ball Super figures. So I don't see why they couldn't incorporate them with these as well. And the only other real nitpick that I have is maybe the accessories could have had a little bit more paint apps on them. But outside of that, this is probably the best Ultraman Orb figure that I've seen come out as of yet. So if you guys are into Ultraman Orb and just want like one really solid figure for your collection, this guy's definitely it. Or you're just like me and just kind of buy everything, then definitely don't pass up on the Ultraman Orb Spacium Zeperion figure. But what do you guys think? Have you guys seen Ultraman Orb? What's your favorite version of Ultraman? Or yeah, you guys just more your thing? Please let us know in the comments. Look closer pictures of this guy on our Facebook. You want to click the link in the description below. We also have a Patreon account with exclusive prints for the channel, also down in the description. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.